Hello. Welcome back to The Roottrees Are Dead. They're still dead. I'm still Stuart. We're still investigating. We're still reading a book that we're halfway through. I decided to open this episode at this angle just for something different. I'm not leaving. There's no reason for me to be over here. I just pulled out of the book and pointed at the door because I thought sometimes it's nice to open on a different scene. But let's go back to the book. When last we left off, we had read 2 pages of Revisiting the Diary, or 2 summary pages of Revisiting the Diary. Each page sort of summarizes a section, I think, and kind of focuses in on something. We're not actually reading a page. Oh my god. Open with a yawn. It's only 9 o'clock in real life. Oh, that reminds me. I know what I was going to do. I was going to look at the clock because we found 3 new bits of evidence. And it's now half an hour later. Interesting. So I'm going to go clock. So clock 10:04 was when we had how many bits of evidence? 21. Not 20 bits of evidence. 21 names. And then we had about 10:35. We've got 24 names. Great. Right, we'll keep an eye on that, won't we? I don't think it's at all related to me, how much time I'm spending in real life. But we did spend about an hour on that episode and half an hour passed on the clock. So let's keep an eye on it. Anyway. I can feel a yawn filling up my head like a sort of pressure balloon. I'm stifling it though, but it's making my eyes water. I'm not bored, I'm just like, I've had a lot going on. Very exciting for me though, I'm not going to show you. It's fine though. I've had a thumb injury for quite a while. You might have noticed if I raised my hand up that I've had a bandage on my thumb for like 6 weeks. And I finally was able to take it off today. I mean, I've been rebandaging it a lot, but it's finally healed to the point where I don't think I have to bandage it anymore, and it's very exciting for me. And it means I can press Alt-Tab without hitting 7 keys at once. So very exciting news here. Let's read page 3, Clark. Now this is a page of additional notes and context from the 1975 10-year anniversary re-release of Lauren's Diary. It's a companion piece to the entry about her son, Clark. Now, I am going to read it, don't you worry. Clark was at the end, wasn't it? Clark is her son. Oh, this is going to be interesting because Clark is a mystery in terms of what the hell's he doing with his life. We know he got into... I'm so sad about Clark. No, my eyes are just watering. We know he had a spell in music, but always use a person's most recent occupation. So we don't think he's in music anymore. He was sort of a short-term thing, unlike Jim Roottrees, who still seems to be doing some successful music, or at least holding a career in it. Anyway, so we don't know what Clark's up to now. And I think where we left off, he was getting married, young. And that's it, really. In the free spirits, in any other family, they all end up on the streets, even Clark. So I think she's like, Clark is off the rails more so than I would like. I being Lauren. And you know what? He got married young. They got divorced. He got married again to the person he made music with, but had an affair with Kim. So they split up, and now he's married to Kim, and he's got a child of divorce, and all, like, he took a while to figure out what was going on in his life. We don't know if he has, but that's where we left off with Clark, and we had information about him. So I'm glad we're seeing more about Clark, because he was the question mark that we've been waiting for quite a while. Reading this back, the thing we just looked at, I get deja vu. Is deja vu capitalized? I don't think it is. As I write this addendum, Clark's got married again. No Roottrees is ever remarried. Sure, I lost Jacob and Gwyn divorced Wild Bill before she had her second, Okay, yeah, she hasn't remarried. I was like, yes. Ah, we've got another one of these striped things here. Which means... what? This is intriguing because the string is not connecting to these people. It's surrounding them. So what happened here? Why is there former marriage surrounding kids instead of like sort of over here where it's still connected but in a confusing way, and here where it's kind of connected? Things to understand as we move forward. Anyway, so Clark's gotten married again. Now I'm going to assume she's talking about the second marriage. Gwyn divorced Wild Bill just before she had her second. Not that even I can blame her for that. I've seen what he gets up to in Starlet, which I'm guessing is a magazine. Ooh. Let's look up. There we go. Okay, good. We've got a new periodical. I'm not going to look into this yet. I'm going to make a note to look into this. I wanted to type it in because I wanted to see if it gave us access to Starlet. If I looked it up. I wanted to activate it as a periodical while it was in my brain. I didn't want that thought to go away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a note to myself saying periodical to investigate. I'm going to try and write legibly Starlet, and I'm going to go for Gwyn and Wild Bill Williams or whatever the hell his name is. It's in here somewhere. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. Yeah, this is where she complains about Gwyn, Wild Bill Williams. There we go. So that's who we're going to look up at some point, but not right now because we're still reading Revisiting the Diaries 10 Years Later by Lauren Roottrees. But neither of us ever took a second husband. True, according to the map. Okay, nothing here I want to save to the notes, I don't think. Carry on. With the way the world is moving, I guess it was inevitable that someone in the family would remarry. I just wish it wasn't my son. I can only wonder if Clark's apparent disrespect for marriage is due to the lack of a real father. I did what I could, and Lord knows Eli C. stepped up and helped. More than I can say for Clancy or Edward. Pause. Now, we know there's an Eli. Yeah, so Eli C. is one of these people. And I think it's probably this one. And I'll tell you why. From my memory. That was me inhaling a yawn. Did you buy it? I mean, me telling you about it probably gives it away. Okay, I'll tell you why. Because I think there was stuff in the magazine, in the Music Monthly thing or something, talking about Clark didn't have a father growing up. And so him and James, or Jim, I think as he was referred to, basically grew up like brothers. And if they grew up like brothers, that means that Eli C. was probably Jim's father. Now, I know we're all over the place again, but is there an Eli in this picture? That's Eli, isn't it? Because he's the one that looks like Pup. Okay. So, I think I'm going to take a punt, and it's not going to do anything, but partly because we don't have enough people. But I think, God, these two look alike. That's Eli C, because that's the person she talks about in this photo when she says she wanted Eli looked like Pop in the photo, and that's the person who looks like Pop. So that's, that's Eli. We don't know his occupation, I don't think, but that all makes sense from the information we know. Yes, and that's Pop. And these two are these. Yes. Okay, fine. Boom, boom. Good. Good. Let's carry on. I think that's all we needed from that. Now the question is, do I want to highlight that to track my thinking? More than I can say are Clancy or Edward. Ooh. Now, the only reason I'm pausing is because I want to log that as a note or notes. I was just thinking about where I wanted to put them. So, my thought. Eli C, Clancy, and Edward are all her brothers, is my thought. Because she's kind of grouping them together as like people within her family who would help, you know, raise her kids, be that kind of person, like siblings might. You know, aunts and uncles often have a, not always, but often, you know, in a close family, often have a hand in like helping each other's, you know, kids, having a semi-close relationship. Your mileage may vary. I'm going to read on just for a little sec, because I think I just saw a hint of it, and I think it might bolster what I was trying to say. Eli C practically raised Clark and Jim as brothers wherever he could. So that's kind of reinforced the thing that I just said. Eli's marriage seems fine, and Jim's marriage seems solid as a rock, pun intended. So who knows what causes these things? Okay, so she was talking about Clark not having a real father, and maybe that's why he got divorced. I mean, she's you know, times are changing in the world, and she's doesn't approve of divorce. Essentially, it's sort of like, oh goodness, that's not the proper way. That's the tone I'm getting from this. Now, we know Clancy is one of her brothers, so I think Edward is this person here, and I'm going to pop him in there, and then I'm going to figure out where I'm going to put these people, because we're going to be in the. So main family, I'm going to call the Clancy Jr. line. And then child 3 is Elias C. Luckily, we already have a child 3. And then this one, which doesn't have anything yet, we're going to call Edward line, and I'm going to move him up there. Whoop. Okay, so we have our tiered system. So within 5-piece 3, which is Edward, we've got the 4 kids: Lauren, Rafferty. Maybe I'll rename that. Maybe I'll do that just to kind of make it a bit more consistent. So Lauren, so by the first names, essentially. And I know her name is Lauren Rafferty, isn't it? And then we'll go down there. So now I've got the tabs. I can put the right things into the right tabs. Unfortunately, as we noted, I can't highlight something and put it in multiple tabs. I need to kind of pick a thing. So I'm going to do this. And I'm going to say Eli stepped up and helped. And I'm going to put it in there. And I'm going to make a little note saying Eli helped raise Clark Rafferty. So I'm going to give context to that note I've made. Now, I'm going to go to the Clancy line. And I'm going to stick it in here. Clancy didn't help Lauren raise Clark. Just to give context, I'm just going to copy that. And I'm going to go to the Edward line, and I'm just going to copy the word Edward. I know it's stupid. But what this will do, which means I can click on this link and it'll send me back to the source if I need to know what the hell if I wanted to know why I thought this. So this just gives me the information that I want. So my actual note is Edward didn't help Lauren raise Clark. And in fact, I'm actually going to edit that. Clue suggests Clark Lauren. No. What am I saying? Lauren. Edward is Lauren's brother. So that's the point I'm making with that note. And if I want to know why I thought that, I can click on this and it'll take me back here. I'm explaining the way I'm writing my notes. And my mouse is being an arse. And I'm going to do the same here. Sorry, forgive me. Clandy. And I'm going to make the same note here. I'm just going to change the name to Clandy. Wow, apparently my fingers automatically type Clancy as Clandy. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you. We'll carry on. It's all coming together. This is opening up, hopefully, a lot of this and maybe some of this. Like, we're getting these people and we might be able to pick them out of the photograph. Maybe. Let's see where it leads. Okay, so we've talked about Eli's marriage seems fine. Jim's marriage seems fine. Who knows what causes these things? These terrible things like divorce. I suspect he's marrying Jane to keep her from running out on the band. Without her, he'd be the third wheel, and I imagine they wouldn't last long as a trio. But still, I don't think a marriage on such shaky foundation like that can last. And Lord knows I was right last time. So that's... At this point in time, it's flavour. But there might have been a point when I didn't know all of this stuff. But this is all confirmed now. Jane is his second wife. Later, Kim becomes his third wife. God, Lauren's going to have a heart attack. Okay. But she's not going to talk about Kim in this diary because this is a snapshot 10 years later. So after 1975 is when things go tits up for Jane and Clark. Page 3, names. This is a This is a page from the 10-year anniversary re-release of Lauren's diary. It's not a companion piece to any specific entry, but addresses feedback. The biggest complaint I got after publishing my diary was how many similar names there are. Yeah, you're telling me. And I get it. There are 4 Elis for Pete's sake. Yeah. But I think we've finally got them in. Right? I don't think they're all confirmed. We've got Eli 1, Eli 2, Eli 3, Eli 4. But only one of them is confirmed. But you know, that I'm pretty sure. Someone would say, I saw Eli in town, and I wouldn't know which one they meant. My brother, my uncle, or my cousin. Now, I think this is not new information, the way she's phrased it, but brother, uncle, cousin. So, they're all in the Right, places. And actually, yes. In fact, I am like 99% sure because that's the only brother slot left. Yeah. That's the only 5-piece that isn't confirmed. So that has to be Uncle Eli. We just spoke about Elias raising James. Like, you know, the context is Elias raised James and Clark sort of as brothers. So that's that Eli. And Eli is also Miracle's youngest. So good. We feel happy about that. We probably knew all that anyway, but it's nice to just confirm it with all the information we had and just be like, yep, okay, everything we're doing is good. Our family's names are always unusual. Grandpa Elias was a believer in using the names of each generation to honour those in the last. His father and Grandma Gwyneth's father were named Edward and Clancy. Oh, that's where I heard the name Gwyneth before. Of course, Gwyneth is bloody Elias's wife. So there was another Gwyneth, right? Yeah, Gwyneth Madsen. Okay, I had heard of Gwyneth. There is a Gwyneth here. Good, right. I think in last episode I was going mad over Gwyneths and Gwyns and Gwendolines and so on. Okay. His father, so Elias, Patriarch Elias, and Grandma Gwyneth's father were named Edward and Clancy. So now you can see where my pop's name came from. I can. But there are also Edwards and Clancys, as well as Edward Clancy. Or Clancy Edward. What's his name? Edward Clancy. But there is an Edward, and there is a Clancy. So not only did your pop's name come from Edward and Clancy, but your brother's name's called Edward and Clancy. Okay. I mean, my name is my dad's middle name and my grandpa's first name. That's where my names come from. So maybe I'm part of the same cycle as the Roottrees. One thing that's always been consistent in our family, though, is that anytime someone's a junior, they're always a firstborn son. Okay, this is good because this is great. This page is like giving us confirmation on rules and structure around the family tree. And we had already kind of, again, last episode, we were like, this person is Elias Jr. because he is the son of Elias. And you don't really call someone junior if they're not the same name as the father, right? And we did say he was the firstborn son, right? You couldn't name this person Elias, so this is Elias Jr. And that's why we put Elias there, and we put the other Elias over here, and so on. That's how we picked that out. And there were some other juniors as well that sort of, I think it's a Zach Jr. somewhere or something. I can't remember. But there were some juniors elsewhere that we kind of... Oh yeah, there's a Miracle Jr. Anyway, right, good. We were playing a little bit loose. We were like, I was sort of making the assumption that the text was suggesting the way Junior works. Like we got Miracle Jr. and Miracle the Third, I think, because it would make no sense for Miracle the Third to be above Miracle Jr. Nonetheless, this Elias we placed by rules that we assumed were suggested by the text, but now we're like, no, these are the rules. It's not suggestion. What we're telling you, this is how it works, which is useful because going forward, whatever the hell goes on in these two paragraphs gives us a stronger foundation on which to make name placements. Anyway, so anytime someone's a junior, they're always the firstborn son. That goes for Miracle, Eli, or even Clancy. Now, we just placed a Clancy. Clancy Jr. Clancy Edward, yeah. Clancy Jr., yeah. So we've got juniors everywhere. So Clancy Jr. is the firstborn son of Clancy Edward. That makes sense. Who haven't we got? Are there any... if I type in Junior, Ernest, Clancy, Elias. So those are all placed. Okay, so It's doing a little bit of confirmation work for us, but it hasn't actually allowed us to make any moves. It's just kind of confirmed what we already thought. Let's carry on. With the women, however, it all goes out the window. I think Gwendolyn got her... we were just talking about like how Gwendolyn was a weird name. And I wanted to do it politely because, you know, you might be called Gwendolyn. And I don't want to say that's a weird name, but it is an unusual version of the Gwyneths and the Gwyns that we've seen in the rest of the family tree. Just as like Margaline is a strange version. A different, an unusual. Whatever your name is, I'm sure it's wonderful. I'm trying so hard not to be impolite in expressing that some names are unusual. Okay. I think Gwendolyn got her name from some combination of Gwyneth and Caroline. Oh, is she Gwendoline, maybe? Who was Elias's mother? Women's names tend to get all mixed up as generations went on. I guess that's because there's no female equivalent of Junior. I think you can call someone Junior, can't you? You can call someone like Gwyneth Junior if you wanted to. There's nothing stopping you. So if you're reading my diary and confused, you're not alone. Even the government had problems. I remember once receiving certified mail for an Edward Clancy Rootree. I had to break the news that they got my father's name backwards. No. Hang on. No. You're not slipping that one by me. Oh, crap. What line were we in? EC. EC? Who the hell is Edward Clancy Rootree then? If Edward Clancy Rootree is EC, are there more secret Rootrees than we thought? Was Samantha raised by actual Rootrees? Was Edward Clancy Rootree emancipated from the family for being gay? That's probably a reach too far in terms of the information we have. But like, if he is a Rootree, why is he not a Rootree? Why is he in a stupid envelope? Why is he hidden? Anyway, I just wanted to be like, I've noticed this. It feels like a clue. Could be a red herring. But because it's kind of like embedded in this like silly story about confusing names and how often names like Edward and Clancy and so on appear. I mean, I even confused myself when I was talking about this person. I think I called them Edward Clancy before I remembered they were Clancy Edward when we talked about Clancy Jr. So, you know, it's a good place to hide it if you're going to sprinkle information about the missing envelope people. It's funny, the beginning of last episode I was like, I'm never going to find out what's in this envelope. I'm just not equipped for it. And I'm at this point I'm like 80% of the way there. Anyway, I had to break the news thing. Right. Let's go on to the last page. I think that was a 2 when I started. So I think we've done something. The last page is called Anger. This is a page from the 10-year anniversary release. It's not a companion piece to any specific entry, but rather a fun bonus. And it's called Anger. How fun. Apparently this is the first thing she could find that she ever wrote. She knows it's through a school assignment about anger, and she believes, based on the teacher's name, she must have been in 3rd grade. So what are you, like 7 or 8? She doesn't. I feel like American grade systems are one step out with the numbering here, but it doesn't really matter. So she's like 7 or 8 or whatever. She doesn't remember exactly the events spelled out here, but she does remember getting in trouble. I got angry when I met a new girl who I do not like. She was dirty, and she did not have a pretty dress. Okay. Right, I'm already like, new girl. She was dirty and did not have a pretty dress. Me and Pop walked home in town, and she hugged him. When I told her he was my Pop, she pushed me. Is this Samantha? When I told her he was my Pop, she pushed me. I got angry and yelled at her, and Pop said to treat her nice. Then she said, your Pop is my dad. Why has she put this in her diary? What is she saying? Then she said, your Pop is my dad. She screamed it loud in my ear. She was lying to me, and lying is not a nice thing. So I pushed her too. Then I got in trouble. Then Pop took her away. He told me, don't worry. I'm glad she is gone. Who is this? Who is this? This is someone. Okay, so in the... I didn't mean to do that. There's a lot here in 5-piece 2. So... No, we don't want to be in 5-piece 2. We want to be in 5-piece 3. Sorry. Lauren, Clancy, Child 3, Child 4. No, I'm pretty sure we don't need that anymore. Uncle Junk is not my brother. Okay. I'm just what have we got so far in the... So this is referring to sort of this area, this page. Clancy is Carl Roottrees' dad. We've got all that stuff. We've kind of got this shit. That's fine. So we bring the evidence thing back up. And I want to... She said, my Pop is my dad. She screamed it. Oh, Christ alive. I want to do that. Your Pop is my dad. A girl told Lauren her dad to Lauren. A girl told this to Lauren. Who is she? And her dad's name is Clancy Edwards Secret how are we spelling this? Illegitimate daughter? Right. Okay, that's given us stuff. Let's go back to the family tree. It made me stop for a while because I'm not entirely sure how this all fits into stuff. So there's a girl who says, let me just double check, I've read this right. Your Pop is my dad. So Clancy is this girl's dad, and then the dad, Clancy, took her away and said, don't worry. She was dirty. She's... Ugh. It's not Samantha. Is she in this folder? This folder is not connected to her, so who the hell is this person? Where do they fit? Ugh. And if there's an Edward Clancy, as well as a Clancy Edward, and the Edward Clancy's in this envelope, where do they fit? Okay. I mean, brr. Secrets upon secrets. Okay. So if there was a intuition number here, it's not there now. And I guess that makes sense because if this person, there isn't space for this person on the family tree. Like there isn't like something else coming out of Clancy Edward. So we're not going to be able to do that. It's nothing we can search. This person is not going to be. There's no names we can look up on Spider Search or whatever. It's a very oblique clue. It's almost just like keep your eyes and your ears open for something. Keep this in mind because other stuff might connect to it and you've just got to pay attention, is what I'm getting from this. Okay. Nothing more we can do with that. I did want to start reading Starlit about Gwyn and Wild Bill. And I did want to look at the temp sheet as well. I don't think there's much we can follow up on this. We've got the thick glasses to think about if those people come up. We've got the Mr. Miller clue. The rest of it sort of underlined stuff we already knew, but it really boosted my confidence about it. We got a bunch of stuff about Sam, which we've already locked in, so that's good. While we're here, the only next gens we haven't got a picture of locked down are Clancy and Edward. Now, it doesn't say who's in here. One sec, let me bring up this. Okay, let's add Sam to this. Let's so this is Sam. Tick, 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 tick. I don't think we've got I don't think we've got Eli confirmed yet, have we? No. So I'm not going to tick him, but everyone else is confirmed. So who the hell is this person? It's got to be a little miracle, I think. Do we have a little miracle? No. Was little miracle? Hang on. Was Let's stick him in the little miracle slot and see if he goes gold. Like Miracle Third doesn't have a little thing, so I think this is Miracle Junior. Let's see what becomes of that. So this person is going to be Clancy or Edward. Ooh, what does she have to say about that? So we gathered. I was outvoted by my brothers. They insisted the four of us stand together. But not all of our brothers are there. There's not enough people for them to be there. The only one too good to make an appearance was Gwyn. Grandma insisted we include Sam. There she is. So the four of us stand. Oh, there's another person here actually. Sorry, there's Can't draw on this. Where's my little... Sorry, we haven't got this guy. Right, these are the brothers. And this one is older than this one. So this is Clancy. Right? And this is Edward. I'm going to say Junior. These are the four siblings. This is the four standing together. So I'm going to be like, you're the siblings. Okay. Great. Spectacular. Well done, everybody. Right, we've worked it all out. In which case, let's stick those pictures in the family tree. You. And you. That makes sense. Everything we've seen about the descriptions makes sense. Amazing we don't know any of their spouses so far, unless I've missed the information about that. Look at this family tree. We've got pictures for all of the next gens. We've got basically all of the 5 pieces confirmed. A lot of this is done. We need to know more about Edward's family. The spouses I'd like to find out about. I wonder how we go about that. We don't know, like, Clark's kids yet. This is a mystery, but we are going to look up in Scarlet in a sec. So there's that. This is unsure. So we know the presidents, actually. Eli Jr. was a... Hang on. Right. Sorry. My thought is this. So some people that we put in, we don't have occupations yet. But we do know who were the presidents. If I can remember where the hell I put that information. Right. The previous presidents were Guy. Who's over here? No, that's Zach. Who the bloody hell was Guy? Guy. President the 3rd. Zach, President the 2nd. Eli, President the 1st. You were President the 5th. And I think Ernest Jr. was President the 4th. Right? Ernie Madsen Jr. And Ernie Madsen Jr. is one of these people. Okay, so we can't actually add that. President, 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 and then President. And I don't think... No, she doesn't make clear who's who. It's not clear if Ernie Jr. or Gwyneth are the... Unless they're in this picture. And it becomes clearer. Who have we got here? Yeah, it's unclear. I think we thought these two might have been Clark and Jim, but this person might have been. And then we've got, I think, probably Ernie Jr. and his sister Gwyn. Oh, thick-rimmed glasses. Do you remember the thick-rimmed glasses comment? Let's bring it up. Let's bring it up. Sam's a spitting image of Patsy with a jet black hair and green eyes. She doesn't have the thick glasses Patsy did, but I guess that skips a generation. Her children have that covered. So, these two? Let me write. Let me get my little pen out again, and I'm gonna pick a just a note. B. I'm gonna pick a different color like that, and I'm gonna go. Let's go up. What were their names? We don't know, do we? So there's I think there's these. No, it's these kids, isn't it? Sam's a spitting image of Patsy. Her children have that covered. Okay, so those two people with the glasses, if they are her kids, are these two people. Therefore, oh God, did we have their names? Ernie and the kids. Ernie and the kids. Patsy's husband. No. Right, kids. Ernie and the kids. Ernie Jr. and Gwyneth. That's right. Ernie Jr. and Gwyneth. So we go back here. Right. Ernie Jr. and... Nope, that's not how you spell Gwyneth. Gwyneth. And I'm going to be like, question mark, and I'm going to draw a picture of the glasses. Oh my God. Let's just, can you believe I draw for a living? I'll do that. And I'll draw her glasses as well, they're more square. Let's do a, there we go. Sure, I'll understand that in the future. That's my note to myself. Great. And Ernie Jr. was the president. The fourth president in there. But we don't know who that is yet. And it's not clear who's oldest out of those two. And I'd be interested who this child is, because obviously they're one of the very few black characters in this game. It would become easy to connect people, but I don't know. They're not here because the LaRues are white. So they're probably one of these kids. But we don't know anything about what's going on over here either. So we'll see. Where is she standing? Yeah, she's not. They're not holding hands. She's standing in front of. Who is it? Who have we placed? Oh, that's Carl. So it's not Carl's kid. So it's probably one of these two. So it's probably that girl. Probably is one of these people. But we haven't got the information on that yet. So let's. I was going to say let's go into Starlet magazine and explore the Gwyn Wild Bill Williams I mean, why is there not a... But it's getting quite late in the episodes, and I think it might lead us down some interesting routes. So I might call it here, call it a 50-odd minute episode, and then we'll leap in. Yeah, I've already made a note to myself. Let's do that next episode. Let's explore the Gwyn line. Let's explore Starlit Magazine. Maybe Starlit Magazine will give us more of this as well. We've got all we need to know about James, so maybe there'll be... I mean, Starlit Magazine sounds like it's gonna... I don't know. I mean, I think there's going to be some gossip and more personal stuff in Starlit Magazine than there would be in like Music Monthly or whatever it was. So anyway, that's for next time. I think we've made some progress. I have been talking a lot, and hopefully it's been clear where my thoughts are going. I feel like we're making progress. Like I think we're doing well. Like we've got over half of the people now, right? We've got how many people left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That's more people I thought. Plus a lot of spouses. Plus a whole bunch of occupations and stuff. But, you know, it's not bad. It's not bad. I was worried I was going to get completely stuck. We've got the ongoing mystery of Samantha and the girl whose father was also Lauren's father, and EC and maybe John. Yeah, the mystery continues, but we're going to do that in the next episode. So thank you very much. Thank you for following along and liking and commenting and all that lovely stuff. I like knowing people are semi enjoying it, even if it's laughing at me banging my head against the wall. I will see you very shortly. Bye for now.